Be willing to go beyond all trace of persona by Adidar Samraj. From recognition of me is liberation. Your relationship to me as your divine avataric master is a relationship of active, moment to moment, whole bodily or comprehensively psychophysical turning to me, directly and really transcending egoity and always purposed to realization of me. Narcissists would make the practice of the radical reality of the heart into a matter of merely adapting to or coming to a settlement with egoic patterning itself, such that each individual is being nothing more than the persona dictated by his or her karmic or accumulated and merely conditional destiny, merely wanting that ego patterning to be preserved and always wanting to animate that mere ego patterning or to be given permission to parade egoic limitations in the form of character signs. Instead of all of that, the life of active ego surrender is what is required of my devotee. The process of true growth in my divine avataric company cannot occur if you, as my devotee, are anxiously armoring yourself and are thereby being strategically, even if to a large extent, unconsciously untouched by me. The more you persist in that effort of self-armoring, the more that armoring becomes an established characteristic, not only of your doings, but of your personality patterning itself. Such armoring is, to a significant degree, founded in the primitive urge to resist all forms of particularly emotional vulnerability. Therefore, it is necessary for all my devotees to observe, understand, and transcend their patterned emotional limitations in order to become truly available to my divine transcendental, spiritual infilling. If you are my devotee, your impulse to realize me, not to maintain your persona. Indeed, in order to realize me, you must be willing to go beyond all trace of separate and separative persona, and thereby to go beyond all the egoic limitations by which you are binding and deluding yourself. Such going beyond is the necessary sign and demonstration of the utter surrender of Narcissus, or the total psychophysical ego I, to me. Only in that case is the relationship to me the real practice of devotion to me, demonstrated as the ego-forgetting life of transcending egoity, rather than the ego-defending life of the armoured persona. And such going beyond is made possible by your embrace of the practice I have given to you in all its details, not by perpetuating your egoic patterning through self-reflecting or self-imaging, and self-meditative case talk, or through an ongoing series of attempts to refine your persona-determined life patterns. Only if you are founded in the ego-transcending or persona-transcending disposition and are actively relinquishing your binding patterns, and thus and thereby relinquishing your enactment of the self-contraction altogether, can you fully make use of my divine avataric transcendental spiritual work with you. To consistently turn the faculties of the body-mind complex to me is to relinquish the otherwise obsessive turning in on yourself, and thus onto being a presumed to be separate and therefore separative self. I expect my devotees to do the practice I have given them. I expect my devotees to require that practice of themselves, without in any sense defending a persona or an ego in relationship to me. As my devotee, you must release your life energy and attention to me, so that you cease to animate or dramatize the mummery persona that would otherwise be the content of your lifetime. The relinquishment of the karmic persona is absolutely necessary for true human and transcendental spiritual growth in my divine avataric company. To relinquish the karmic persona is to forget the ego self, thus allowing the fundamental practice of turning to me to deepen and mature. Without that relinquishment, you cannot make use of my divine avataric transcendental spiritual self-transmission. Therefore, you must cease to play any separate and separative persona. You must cease to protect your self-image or otherwise to project your self-image onto me. Practice of the only by me revealed and given radical reality of the heart has nothing to do with protecting the pattern of your bondage as the karmic personality or the mama or the egoic entity. Practice of the only by me revealed and given radical reality of the heart has nothing to do with being an ego in relationship to me. Rather, practice of the only by me revealed and given radical reality of the heart or radical reality way of Adidam is the self-surrendered and self-forgotten or persona surrendered and persona forgotten relationship to me in my here manifested and altogether avatarically self-revealing bodily human divine form, shown during my physical human lifetime by my divinely avatarically born physical human body itself, and shown during and after and forever after my physical lifetime, human lifetime, by my likenesses, preserved by many and various multi-images of my divinely avatarically born bodily human divine form. If you are not truly self-surrendered and self-forgotten by means of real and right practice of radical devotion to me, you will tend to propose an ego-made and ego-serving revision of the radical reality of the heart, according to which you already contain me inside yourself or in your heart. All such propositions are simply forms of dissociating or abstracting yourself from me, or of rather complacently proclaiming your presumed self-sufficiency and lack of need for me, and more deeply, your anxiety or even fear relative to truly embracing the process of ego forgetting surrender to me in my avatarically here born bodily human divine form. Indeed, such dissociation is the typical egoic fault, which is to be overcome by means of your devotional recognition of me and your devotional response to me, divinely avatarically present here in bodily human divine form. To devotionally recognize me and devotionally respond to me is not to relate to your own insides. Rather, to devotionally recognize me and devotionally respond to me is to enter into relationship with me as that one who is beyond you and prior to you and infinitely greater than you, gracefully appearing in front of you and outside you. To presume that you find me inside yourself or in your heart is to claim that the ego is divine. That claim is the ultimate heresy, the mere and self-deluded poeticizing and real idealizing of egoity. Therefore, the only by me revealed and given radical reality way of the heart, or radical reality way of Adidam, is not an inward turning path, but the turning to me way. The revelation I have given is not about you. The revelation I have given is about me. Therefore I call you to abandon all forms of self-guruing and to enter into relationship with me by forgetting self and turning to me. The practice of ego-transcending devotional surrender to me, turning all the faculties to me, is what enables all the developments of the only by me revealed and given radical reality of the heart, or radical reality of Adidam, to occur in due course by my divine avataric grace. Therefore, if you engage in a mode of seeming practice of the radical reality of the heart, which seeming practice is fundamentally a matter of avoiding true surrender to me and refusing to truly turn the faculties to me, divinely avatarically present here in my bodily human divine form, you are preventing the process of the radical reality way of the heart from maturing. Indeed, you are, in that case, committing yourself to nothing but a very ordinary and even grossly ego-bound form of self-deluded practice, self-deluded exercise. The egoic tendency to manufacture a substitute for me by presuming that I am already inside or in the heart of the ego entity, and as a result to present yourself to me as the mummer rather than as my truly self-surrendered devotee, is one of the fundamental means whereby my devotees avoid and prevent the real and only by me divine avataric grace-given process that becomes in due course the true hearing of me. Indeed, such substitution delusion is a dramatization of the very egoic mechanism that is specifically understood and transcended by means of truly hearing me. Therefore, you must not establish any substitutes for me, and you must not establish any substitutes for the real practice of surrender to me. The manufacture of such substitutes is precisely how the ego works. Such is the nature and activity of self-guruing, the establishment of an alternative and ego-based principle, generally speaking in mind form, that replaces me. In that case, there is no surrender and there is no self-forgetting, and therefore no real human and transcendental spiritual growth is possible. In that case, there is nothing but persistent self-delusion and temporary self-consolations. In that case, it is impossible to hear me and then to see me. In that case, it is impossible to establish even the foundation of devotional recognition response to me, because the mummer, or the performing ego, who is Narcissus, is always being consoled and aggrandized and elaborated, forever dissociated from me and totally self-involved. This is how practice of the only by me revealed and given radical reality way of the heart, or radical reality way of Adidam fails to be true. You cannot, by any egoic means or efforts, take heaven by storm. The I thought in the presumed to be separate self-body-mind complex is not an indicator of present-time realization of the one divine reality in person. Rather, the I thought in the presumed to be separate body-mind complex is Narcissus. And indeed, Narcissus is more than a mere thought. Narcissus is altogether a profoundly complex pattern of whole bodily or total psychophysical activity and of consequent ego destiny. Therefore, you must first and always transcend the complex I through real and whole bodily or total psychophysical practice of the ego-renouncing and, in due course, perfectly ego-transcending way I have revealed and given. All of this is the reason why the right and true practice of radical devotion to me is such a profound requirement. From the beginning of the only by me revealed and given radical reality way of the heart, or radical reality way of Adidam, there must be real whole bodily turning out from self, from the pattern of self-contraction and all the patterns of adaptation based on it in the first 3 stages of life to me. I am always present to help you awaken from your sleep, your dreams, and your waking conceits. That awakening which necessarily occurs in the midst of the hard school of transcending egoity and in the constant swoon of devotional communion with me is the graceful process that I offer to all who approach me as my formerly practicing devotees. Only on that basis can any devotee become capable of entering into the process of transcendental spiritual communion with me in the intensive listening hearing stage of the radical reality way of the heart and beyond. Da.